News you need. News you need is a look at current events and how they affect the college community and beyond. And now here's the host of News You Need, Dr. Ed Simpson.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another exciting edition of News You Need. This is the show where we talk to the absolute best human beings in the entire world, which is our USM students. And we actually have a little bit unusual for News You Need. We have some returning panelists this week, which is great. Dr. Hale is also back with us today as co-host. Say hello, Dr. Hale.
I'm excited to be back again.
That's great.
I'm excited. I believe that we have at least a concept of a plan for what we're going to do today.
I believe we do, and that may well come up. And I believe the word cats may also come up in today's discussion. So first, why are we here? Well, this is the show where we talk with our students about what's in the news. And the reason we care is that there are all sorts of issues facing our society, and that the only way to deal with them as civic citizens and members of a republic is to know these issues. And then what do we do, students? What do we do when we know about these issues? We go and vote. Absolutely. So this is one of the reasons why we're chatting. So tell us what's on the minds. So first of all, remind us of the group that you are with, and if there's anything new going on with the sorority this week. And tell us your name. I'm sorry. Introduce yourselves. Tell us your and tell us your group and bring us up to speed.
All right, my name is Alexis Smith. I'm with Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
My name is Tiana Monroe, and I'm also with Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
This coming up Monday, we have an event on September 16th, correct? 16th?
At
Yes.
6:30.
Yes, 6:30 at the Trent Lott Center. And then on the 24th, which is a Tuesday, we have an event in the THAD at 6:30 as well.
You guys are busy. And what are these events? What are you doing?
The first one is kind of just like an introduction and mingle with us, get to know us some, stuff like that. We're having like a school drive, we're having a school supplies drive for that. And then the second one, the one on the 24th, is actually a mock debate and a voters registration again.
Oh man, I want to go to the mock debate. Who's debating?
So we're actually collaborating with Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated with this event, and we are also being sponsored by When We Vote,
Yes.
Michelle Obama's organization. So basically what we're going to do is kind of like mesh our two organizations, and then those are going to be the debate panels.
Oh, excellent.
And then we're going to give participants the opportunity in the next round, if they would like to volunteer, to get a topic and debate it.
Well, I absolutely love that. So tell me again when the mock debate is.
September 24th.
Where?
It's
in the Cochran Center, room 218 AB.
And that
Okay,
was at 6:30.
6:30. Okay. Will you make sure that you get Lillian the information?
We will.
We will.
And we'll get that out to folks. Yeah, I'd love to be there. Who's your moderator? Dr. Hale's free that night.
Oh boy,
No, I'm kidding. I don't know whether you are or not.
being voluntold in live time.
Voluntold to
That's
go
still
over there.
being worked out.
Yeah,
That's still being
we're getting
worked
all the little
Well-
details. We have the concept of a plan.
Yeah.
Well, I gotcha. Well, I will tell you this: if you get in need, let me know. I'd be delighted to help out on that. Love that. When our students do that, it just makes me all warm inside. Okay, so what are our students talking about this week? What's big?
The debate.
The debate, presidential debate.
Wait, we had a
Indeed.
debate?
Yeah.
100%.
Did you watch it,
Yes.
Dr. Hale?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I did. So put in context the reference now to concept of a plan.
Yeah, so, I mean, our former president, Donald Trump, was asked a question about his plan. Plan for, what was it?
Replacing Obamacare.
That's
Yeah.
right. It was for, it was
His
a healthcare
9-year,
plan.
the plan he had 9 years to work on.
Yeah, and was asked what the details of that plan were. And he said, well, he's not in office right now, so he doesn't really know, but he does have a concept of a plan.
He's not
for what that
president
would
right
be.
now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what do you think our students thought of the debate overall?
Okay.
You can go ahead.
I will say that the debate kind of felt like a toddler being upset. Toddler would be Trump. And then Harris being like, okay, this is why you really shouldn't be upset about this, but I'm going to make you a little bit more upset and keep pushing you. into where he just said random stuff. Like there was at one point she said something about people leaving his rallies, and instead of talking about Border Patrol, he talked about, no, my rallies are amazing. Nobody goes to her rallies. Like,
Right.
what?
She did a lot of baiting, but it wasn't like in a bad way
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, she still encouraged the people to, like, you know, find out who she is. She told them about who she was, and she actually answered the great majority of the questions while also getting him distracted to where he didn't answer any questions.
He didn't answer any questions.
Now, one of the main kind of critiques that people have been giving to that debate, though, was that there didn't seem to be a whole lot of real clarity to policy positions. What exactly are you proposing that we do for either one of them? It didn't seem to really get much of that. So you were saying that you did feel like you got some clarity. Do you think that there was much of an actual conversation that was happening?
I feel like compared to the previous presidential debate where they were arguing about golf, there was definitely some improvement as to where, you know, where each of them stand, at least where Kamala stands on certain policies, which she would be a representative of the Democratic Party. So I would say that I felt like I had more clarity regarding that. And then I just assumed Trump's the opposite.
Okay.
I would say that, I mean, with any politician, they're going to beat around the bush about what their actual position is. That's just how it is because they don't want to say the wrong thing and then, oh, they lost this side of voters. But they don't want to say this, oh, well, they lost this side. So it's like they all just, I think they collectively as just politicians beat around the bush on their actual policies. And you kind of have to read and actually go through and search yourself what their actual policies are in order to see
Well,
it.
that's interesting. Okay, so that's
I
so
don't
one.
like that
There was a
fact,
huge
but-
issue that I thought that you guys might hit on that I did not hear during the debate, nor have I heard it in any other context, which is student loans. So the current
They brought
president
it up.
during the debate.
Yeah, very briefly.
It was very
okay.
brief, but they brought it up.
Yeah, it must have been brief. Maybe I was snoring at that point. But so President Biden promised to forgive, or promised to try to forgive a whole bunch of student loans. That did not happen, although he did forgive several billion, nothing like he wanted to. How do our students feel about Vice President Kamala Harris not mentioning that at all? Do we care? Do our students care?
Honestly, okay, I'm sure that we care, but with it not being, there's just so many things that happen in the debate that it's just like, it was hard to pick out which parts they didn't talk about, honestly, because they talked about so many things. I have an entire list of things that they talked about. So it's kind of just like you don't really notice it. Like they mentioned it, they briefly mentioned it because Trump was saying how Biden promised that he didn't do it, and now she's promising the same thing, and she's not going to do it either because it's not going to pass Senate. And like that was basically the conversation of it.
I feel like the reason that it isn't being brought up as much of a concern is because a lot of people are already set in stone that they're not going to pay them back aney. So
That's true.
it's just
Really?
yeah, like a lot of people are just like,
Okay, let's pause there
So-
for a second. This is all new. This is new to me. So our students, we say a lot of people. Do you mean some of our students?
I mean,
Yes.
students in general, students who are already graduated, like not even just here, just I feel like the general population of students who have student loan debt are pretty set in stone about not paying their
We're
student
just not going
loans.
to pay it back,
They're just not.
despite what it does to your credit rating, despite.
Well, student loans, I feel, and then correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not as versed on credit, but is it not like some of that good bad credit? You know, like you have to have like certain things on your credit because the life of your credit is based on, you know, how old it is. So if you pay off your student loans, which is a lot of people's first introduction to credit, then they pay it off and it's gone, then it really impacts their credit score in a negative way. Is that wrong?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
We're,
I mean,
so
at the
we're
end of the
gonna.
day, it's a debt, and getting that paid off, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna look into that. Maybe we'll
Okay.
call a one of our professors over in
Yes.
our debt college and figure out if we can figure out what the rules are. But this surprises me. I think we're okay. I believe we're okay. Yeah, we're okay. For a little while, we're okay. So this surprises me. So that's interesting. Now they did spend quite a bit of time on Gaza. Yeah, that's what I thought. we're having our discussion with our engineer here. So during the debate, they did have quite a bit of discussion on Gaza and the war in Israel. How did that sit with our students?
Honestly, okay, as I was listening to it, it just sounded like they were going back and forth on saying the exact same thing. Like they both they both have supported the side of Israel. They both have. They both said that. But then when asked like if they wanted to pull out of it, both of them were just like, well, they kind of they were arguing over the same exact opinion. I didn't feel like that conversation was productive at all when they were speaking.
Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like they probably won't pull out of it because of the money they kind of have invested into it, and then the possible return of money that they get from like selling weapons and things of that nature. So at this point, it's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're keeping trying to talk to our engineers.
The one
I'm
thing
going to
that-
just let you just break in and let us know when we need to break. Gotcha. She's nodding yes to us.
The one thing that it seemed to get clarified there was Kamala Harris was very clear when she said that she did want to get a two-state solution. That was something that was said that we were kind of waiting to hear. So at least there was some clarity on that front.
Yeah.
She did say that's what she wanted. But beyond that, it was still, like you said, a lot of the same, like supporting Israel's right to defend itself, and what exactly that means is a little bit opaque, I think, a lot of the time. That is kind of the only bit of clarity that I got that was like.
Yeah, I think Kamala Harris has been actually quite consistent, which I don't think our students generally agree with. As Kamala Harris says that it favors a ceasefire, favors an end to the war, but clearly supports Israel.
Yeah.
But
Very
that's not where our
wishy-washy,
students
very
are, right?
politician.
You said what? Yeah, it's just
It's just
it's going back to the exact same thing and not
Yeah.
wanting to say the wrong thing and making these people mad, or saying this and making these people mad. Like,
It's just the nature
It's
of being
too-
a politician.
yeah.
Like, you have to just play the game. And I think that's what she's doing. And I do feel like even if it's still not the right stance, I still feel like she's taking a better stance than her competitor than Trump, because it's just, at least she's not being as harsh about it.
yeah.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that many of our students are giving Kamala a lot of grace to be a politician.
Yeah.
It's okay because you understand she has to get elected.
Yeah. Pretty much. If you do what you got to do to get elected, honestly. We do. If you actually read through her agenda and all of her stuff, you can see her policies and everything that she actually stands for. Whether she's saying it out loud on national television, you can read through all of it and see her actual positions.
Yeah. Yeah. So go educate yourself.
Basically.
Okay. Well, something that did come up in a new headline this week. This is from the New York Times. Biden poised to approve Ukraine's use of long-range Western weapons in Russia. So during the debate, Trump was asked directly, do you want the Ukraine to win, or should the Ukraine win the war against Russia? And Trump refused to answer.
Yeah, he was silent. He didn't say anything.
So how do our students feel about that? Are you guys following the war in Ukraine at all?
I haven't seen the one in Ukraine too much. I don't know too much about it.
This is what I believe I know about this war. Is this the war that had the connection with NATO?
Anytime Russia's involved, it's always going to invoke NATO
Yeah,
in some
Right.
capacity.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I know this has been going on for a long time too, right? Because even when like I was in Europe, they were talking about it like really heavily in NATO and like all the different things that they were trying to change and of that nature. And it's just like, it really just feels like this is something we've seen before in a different font, like with previous things in history. And I'm not really sure how it's going to go down. But whenever you have such a big entity like Russia against such a smaller entity like Ukraine, it's almost just common just to root for the underdog, because why are we supporting Russia when it's clear that Ukraine doesn't have the resources it needs to actually fight off Russia?
Well, to that point, we've also seen that. We've seen that whenever American-made weaponry or European-created weaponry was in short supply, Ukraine really started losing territory. So they really are in that way the massive underdogs in this fight, and do require a lot of assistance to stay in it. So that is true.
Yeah, one idea is that the Ukraine is a democracy, theoretically, and Russia is not. So we have a natural alliance with the Ukraine as opposed to Russia. Russia has been a enemy. I guess that's a reasonable word.
Absolutely.
Since shortly after the Second World War, right? So the idea of a president of a major party or a nominee of a major party being silent on whether they want a major ally to win in a war against Russia is pretty interesting.
I mean, he's always, I don't want to say tried to be cool, but for lack of a better word, tried to be cool with our enemies. Like, this isn't
Okay.
something new. Even during his election, he was talking to the Taliban. Like, not, like, while he was president, he was speaking to the Taliban,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
He also got with, what is that man's name? North Korea.
Oh, Kim Jong-un?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
They talked about them all the time. Like, this isn't something new for him to play the devil's advocate
Yeah.
at
Okay.
all.
And like I understand, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. But it's also just like,
That's too close.
yeah, like at some point you have to like be real with what's going on and what risks come with having this kind of relationship with somebody when you're supposed to be the leader of the free world and like an advocate for people who are being discriminated against and underrepresented and things of that nature.
Okay.
It's very hypocritical.
Within moments after the debate, something huge happened. What happened?
Right
Are
after
our
the
students
debate?
talking about this right after the debate?
Educate me. What
Are
happened?
you referring to Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Oh, yes, Taylor
yes.
Swift. Yes.
Okay.
Taylor
She
Swift
endorsed
Kamala
Kamala Harris.
She
and
did.
That I did commend her for that because that's not
I
something I
reposted
would have
it.
expected to see her do.
I reposted it and put it on my platforms. Actually, I didn't know that
Okay, I
that's
was
what you
gonna
meant by
ask.
something that was big. But
So you did repost it.
yes, because I need all of my Taylor Swift supporters to see that she endorses her, so that they'll vote for Harris.
Okay, now this is really interesting. So the New York Times looked into this and said, well, how effective is Taylor's endorsement really?
Oh no, Taylor said something about. It was corn. It was something about not like being mad at corn or something like that. And when
Really?
I tell you, like, the corn industry literally like plummeted. Like nobody would buy the corn. Like actually, she has too
Are
much
you,
power.
okay,
I'm
you're
not
looking at me and
joking.
you're not even smiling when
I'm
you say
not
that.
joking. It's scary.
We'll
The
that's
Swifties are
another thing we're
It's a
going to
very
have to look
serious
into.
conversation.
Yeah, we're going to have to look into the great corn debacle
They eat
of
corn
Aught
now.
10 or whatever. What's that?
They can eat the corn now, but for
No.
a minute there, like no, they weren't buying corn.
So Taylor's okay if the Swifties eat corn.
Yeah.
Okay, you
now.
heard it here first.
It is
Dr.
literally
Hill.
the first I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an. So one of the interesting things. So let me ask you that: how many followers do you have on social media?
Like
Give-
2,000.
Wow.
Like 1,000.
Wow. Okay, so this is one of the things the New York Times is looking at. If you repost it and you repost it, think about that's just that 3,000. Do you know how expensive it is to reach 3,000 young people? So just that. So that's one of the things they're saying is that she might be the only one, literally on the planet, who could move the election, because
Yeah.
you guys are retweeting it, you're reposting it, you're saying, "Oh my gosh, Taylor endorsed." So did you put did you do it? Did you repost it? So did you put a little phrase on it? What did you say if you did?
I feel like it really just speaks for itself.
did.
Like
I
there's
just
really not
reposted
much
it.
for me to say. Like at the end of the day, she said her statement with her cat in her hand, and that's a statement within itself.
Okay.
I just put it there. I like Taylor Swift. Now I'm not gonna call myself a Swiftie because they take it too far.
Oh,
But
okay, really.
But
Okay.
I like Taylor Swift, so I just reposted it. My friends know me. They hearted it. We kept going. They got some likes on it though.
There you go. And I wonder if how many of your friends that may have missed it the first time reposted it and on, right? The idea of being viral. Really interesting. Now, I did watch CNN's coverage. They actually broke into their coverage with the name of the cat
Really?
in Taylor Swift's post.
Could you inform
Well,
me?
I believe it's Benjamin Buttons. Is that correct, Lillian? Lillian's nodding. Yes, that is correct, old man. You got it correct. It's
Wow.
Benjamin. The cat was Benjamin Buttons. And now there is another. What everybody's really talking about are cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio.
Oh, please.
Oh my god.
So is that coming?
Are there still cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio?
I don't think so. They're
I
all
don't think-
gone.
I think they're gone.
They've all been eaten. So is
That-
this reaching your social media feeds?
Yes.
That was very. It's so
That's so
funny because
interesting.
people are like recording their animals reacting to the
Yes.
to the sound,
I have
and
actually
all
seen-
the animals are so startled. Like, wait, like they're eating us, like they're coming for us. Like it's just so diabolical. Like it's just really crazy for him to say that about. Because wasn't he talking about the Haitian immigrants?
Correct.
Yes.
And it's really just, and it's crazy because they literally were like, yeah, we called Ohio, and they said that's not happening during the debate. And we were just like, why, where is he? He's so quick to say something's fake news or your fake facts and fake, but it just really seems like everything
just
he
lies.
says, he's just be making it up on the spot.
Like, for real. It threw me off so bad because I was driving while I was watching it. And he said it, and I said, what? So I looked it up, and I'm looking up stuff in Ohio and all this other stuff. He's sitting here talking about pets and whatever being eaten by immigrants when he should be talking about the fact that, like, literally, I wrote this down. The prison in Ohio, what came up was it's overcapacitated. Like, they have way too many people there. They were talking about that. That's what came up when I looked up something for Ohio. Not pets getting eaten. That's clearly not our issue.
Yeah, so this is fascinating, right? So mis and disinformation is actually one of the things I really like to look into. So there actually was, 3 or 4 weeks ago, a police report in Springfield, Ohio, where the police responded, and and there's actually video of this out there. It's going huge on the far right media, where a woman is saying, "Yes, I saw her take the cat, and it was bloody, and she was holding it." And the officer, was she eating it? And the woman goes, "Well, yeah, I think she was eating it." So there was, now, that did not involve a Haitian immigrant. They never confirmed that the cat was actually eaten, but it was an animal cruelty charge against a woman in Springfield, Ohio, involving the death of a cat. Now, that was 3 or 4.
So we don't know the parameters around it at
Yeah,
all?
we do. It has nothing to do with Haitian immigrants and eating pets. So this is what's interesting, right? Is that often these weird things get completely spun out of control because there's one little tiny thing that did happen, right? So it's really interesting, fascinating stuff. So it did come across your feeds,
Yeah.
and it's you take it as evidence of just ongoing nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Did you
Yeah, I
believe it
don't
for a
know.
sec? Did you believe it the first second?
No.
No. Okay. You immediately said,
I said,
I
they're
still
doing
believed
it.
it until just
It
now.
was like, no.
I just said, what? Like, I was driving. I literally just looked. I just went back on the live, and I said, am I tripping? I wasn't. He said it, like, again,
He said
and
they're-
he brought it up more
The
than
cats,
once.
the dogs, all pets.
They're
and I was
done.
just like, are you sure? Like, are we sure this is what's happening?
yeah.
I think to your point about this issue with disinformation and misinformation, so he was fact checked, right? Which, first off, that was already a really good improvement, in my opinion, for the moderators to be doing that. But then his response to the fact check was, well, I saw it somewhere, it was on TV or something, right? And so this kind of descent into, well, it was somewhere that I saw that thing, so it has to be true.
He's showing his age because there's a lot of
Literally.
things people see on Facebook or any social media or any TV, and if you don't take it for yourself and fact check it, then there's a lot of misinformation that you can consume and just believe. But as a candidate for the president of the United States, you would think he should know how to fact check things that don't seem to be that true.
Like, why would you just see it? That gave my 14-year-old brother. He'll see something on the internet. He'll come tell me, and I'll go look it up, and it's completely the opposite. That's exactly what he did. He just saw something and was like, okay, let me talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
For
Yeah.
no reason.
All that way. Well, he's done that his entire life, actually.
In a
I mean,
presidential debate.
well, he's done that forever. I mean, it doesn't matter what.
And it's
content.
funny because he's the main one who's always talking about misinformation and being spread,
Yes.
but he's the spreader of misinformation.
No, that is correct. That has been his thing for a very long time.
I
Not
think it
only-
also goes.
oh.
Go ahead, please.
Not only that, like he literally was saying that that people are laughing at America and it's Harris's fault. No, like since you became president, people have been laughing at America. Like his first term, that's when they started laughing at us for real. If they weren't
His
already,
only term.
his only. I'm just saying that one right there.
What really got me is when he looked at Kamala and said, "She is Joe Biden." I was like, "No, she's
Yeah.
not." But he did pose a really good question, though. Where is Joe Biden?
He did.
He's
He
not
asked-
wrong. I will tell you, he's not completely wrong on that.
That is a good question.
He's
When
not
he said
completely
that, I was
wrong.
like, "Wait,
Although
We
they
said
did,
he might have
there.
just said something."
yeah.
Where is he actually?
Where is that man at?
He's the president of the United States. He's out
doing
there.
But where is he
presidential
at?
stuff.
We haven't seen him.
We haven't seen
Well,
him.
he did show up. He and Kamala actually showed up at an event yesterday.
Okay. Okay.
So
He's
he's
not
still
missing in
kicking.
action.
He's still
He's around.
he's around. I have no. So let's take it a little bit serious
Before
here. Yeah.
before we take it serious, I
Uh-oh.
do want to say one thing that I did not like. I did not like how he said she went to her little sorority party
Oh yeah.
instead of
It was like
That
a national
event-
convention.
that wasn't really, it was for the president of the United States. But, you know,
Yeah, that little sorority party.
little sorority party.
Okay. Well, actually, it does appear we are out of time. I think our engineer's kind of taking a break. It's a so we're going to get our rundown straight for next week. But this has been a production of Southern Miss Student Media. Our producer is Lillian Scott. Thank you, Lillian, for all your work. Our videographer is Blake Brooks. Our engineer is Triderica Winters. And we will be back next week.
This has been News You Need with Dr. Ed Simpson. News You Need airs Friday afternoon at 12:30 on Southern Miss Radio.